How's it going, y'all? It's been a minute. I've been doing a lot of moving and stuff. It's been really crazy. Let me update this graphic real quick. All right. Now we're good. We're going dinner and news with DotSale. Yeah. Got another one. We are all the way back. I'm excited to be here with y'all. Gotta talk about some stuff. I know I'm a little bit late, but you know, better late than never. I'm excited to be back. I was doing a lot of moving. I'm in a new space now, so it's been kind of crazy, like over the last couple of weeks. And, you know, I'm getting settled in now, so get back to our regular consistency that we began with. Had to get some stuff taken care of behind the scenes, but I know y'all probably famished at this point. So let's start out immediately by getting y'all fed with some good food before we talk about how these companies are trying to destroy us with the food that they're giving to the general public and even the private sectors too. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and check out our guy Andrew Bernard. He has 621,000 subscribers. Andrew does, and he's gonna make us a really good dish. This is actually green coconut curry. Very healthy. Very healthy. You can call this plant-based. You can call it vegan. I'm gonna let him go ahead and take over, explain exactly what's going on. You see this presentation. It's very, very nice. You know, it's nighttime. It's kind of chilly out. I don't know where you at in the world, but if you anywhere in the Midwest, it's pretty chilly. Although it's warmed up a little bit, but it's still cold outside. So let's go ahead and warm up and have some of this curry real quick before we get into all of the topics.
And have tomatoes. This one's for you. A green coconut curry infused with Thai elements. Just may have you freezing ingredients to make this year-round. Time to prep.
Tahini. What was that? Oh, let me go back real quick. Vegan fish sauce or soy sauce. Okay, I didn't know that vegan fish sauce.
Different from our usual prep, we're starting this recipe off by making our sauce inside of a blender. We're going for a smooth, creamy sauce that has body. Because this is a coconut curry and coconut milk happens to have all three things going on with it. So it's an automatic favorite here. Let's say allergies are preventing you from living your best life. Or maybe coconut milk is just too coconutty for you. Do you like Almond Joys? Cashew cream would be my runner-up with a fatty, thick plant milk, you know, taking the bronze. I used to like Snickers. I can't eat them anymore, but I've never had an Almond Joy.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and move along real quick. Like Andrew's he's a really good cook, chef. He comes up with some great dishes, but he's also just like good at presentation and communicating and everything. So we definitely like him over here on Lunch and News, Dinner and News Tonight. Let's go ahead and go towards the end. Let's get to the end of it real quick. That looks so good.
So from here, we proceed with our finishing touches. Green, it does not taste like it. I say that because when I was young,
What did it say?
although this
price?
recipe...
Let's see. Recipe total, $13.40, 8 servings. Well, that's pretty affordable, actually. 8 servings?
Is green, it does not taste like it. I say that because when I was younger, and I want to say this followed me for a very long time, I would stereotype my food by its color. And if something was green, I just knew it tasted like grass. Grass. Let me just say that again so it comes through the mic properly. Even green M&Ms, green Skittles, they would be the first to go. When a friend said, hey, can I have one? I would just take one of those out and just do that. Moral of the story, don't wait till adulthood.
All right, he's going into some other stuff, but let's go ahead and get a visual of our meal right there. I like that. I like that. We definitely got to get a very healthy meal just based off of what we're going to communicate about today, because we have to talk about what's going on in the food industry. And we're going to talk about the CampBell's story. So we will get to that. We'll definitely get to that. You know, like for me, I always had this thing where, let me go off black and white. I always had this thing when it came to food where it was just like, and I think it started out because I never had like a, you know, some people, they have like food illnesses, and or like they have like these mental things with food and stuff like that. I never really had that. I never had like eating addictions or anything like that, or I've never really had any addictions at all. So, you know, I've been grateful just to be able to control myself with pretty much everything that I do in life. But, you know, I think that these companies understand that we do get a lot of pleasure from what we eat, right? And I do have these cravings at different times for different types of foods. And I think that it started out really young, and it was with fast foods where I would get cravings. And I guess that could be similar to addiction, but it's not exactly the same. And so, you know, and also it's the way that we get marketed to, right? I used to always love like kid cuisine. I don't know if anybody remembers. It was like the trays. Well, they still make them today, but you know, if you remember that little duck, he'd be on the box. The little duck would be on the box. Or it was like, was it a penguin? And I always used to like those. And something told me like that it wasn't good food, but the way that it was marketed to us just made me want to eat it. I had the same thing with like Fruity Pebbles, because I used to always like the Flintstones when I was growing up. And then what these companies started to do was they would put these cartoon characters on the worst foods for us, and they would sell it to us as children. And so I would always ask my mom, like, you know, it would be like Count Chocula. I used to, you know, love that cereal. Lucky Charms. I never liked that little leprechaun, so I didn't like, the only reason I didn't like Lucky Charms, I think, is actually like it tastes good, but I didn't like the leprechaun, so I wasn't gonna eat it. So there was actually foods that I didn't like just based off of the characters that were presented on the box. But we have got to a point now where I think we're at the worst point that we can be up to now with what we're eating. And we are seeing some pushback from the people, and I want to look at that. So we're going to look at a whole bunch of people and what they're discovering that's going on with food, because I always like to go down to the ground level and just see what's going on with the people. So we got a whole bunch of those videos queued up to see what's actually going on in stores. And it should be really interesting to just see exactly what we're dealing with. I think what I want to do first, though, what did I have first? I had the woman and the DoorDash driver using pepper. Yeah, do you want to go? Let's go to that real quick. So let's go to this woman before we get into the Campbell's part, because we're gonna go. We'll go with a couple of stories to lead up to the Campbell's, and then after that we'll talk about the Campbell's. Then I want to go and I want to talk directly to the people. So yeah, we'll do it like that. Let's start with this story, because even if the companies aren't trying to take you out and destroy you, sometimes your own delivery driver will try to take you out and get you sick. So we'll look at this story to begin. Let's go here, actually. Yeah, let's go here. So does anybody remember this? So this is actually an update, because this woman did get arrested. I think we got do we got the video? Here's the video right here. She was recorded.
My wife had started eating, and she started choking and gasping, and after she had had a couple bites of her food, she actually threw up. It's pepper spray. It's more than likely what it is, but now in this day and age, it could have been anything. Could have been rat poison, could have been fentanyl. You know, I mean, my wife could have been dead. Definitely want to see her prosecuted.
It's more than likely pepper spray, just based off it. I don't think that this woman has I don't think she has the skills to replace that bottle and replace that spray bottle with something like fentanyl or anything like that, or rat poison. She could. More than likely, it's just however she bought it, something over the counter. So it's probably like bear spray, mace, pepper spray, or something like that. And usually you could tell, but yeah, it could have been something even worse than that. If it wasn't her, if it was somebody that looked a little more sophisticated, I would say it probably would be like a dangerous drug like fentanyl or something. But yeah, a woman that looks like that could be crystal meth, though. Could be some like crushed up crystal meth in there or something. But I doubt that she would waste the money. She probably end up smoking it instead of spraying it on your food. So that's more likely. I feel bad for this guy. You know, one of the things I always talk about, like I've talked about in the past, is I don't order delivery service food. Like very rarely, if I'm out of town or something like that, I'll order it. But I never order it when I'm in town. I never order it to my home, ever. Like, I don't even have a DoorDash account. I don't have an Uber Eats account or anything like that, just because I don't trust these people with my food, and their onboarding process is absolutely easy to manipulate and get in as a person with a criminal record. You never have to actually meet somebody for the hiring process. Everything's done online, so you can manipulate that system and get in using someone else's identity and different things like that. This woman was caught, though, and I want to go to that news story. I think, do I got it? I think I got it right here. I think this is the updated story where she got caught. Let me make sure. Or is it this one? Okay, yeah, this is her mugshot. So we got her mugshot right there. And that's what she looks like. Yeah, like you see what you got going on there. She doesn't look like she's taking care of herself very well. So, obviously, the first thing that you usually think about in situations like that is that they're not going to care about you if they don't care about themselves. That's why, a lot of times we say we shouldn't stereotype, or we shouldn't look at people's appearance or the way that they dress or the way that they carry themselves. But a lot of times that's the only indicator we have if we don't have an actual conversation with somebody and get opportunity to, understand their character better. That's why the way that we represent ourselves is very important to build trust, especially initially when you meet somebody. So, just based off of her appearance, I wouldn't trust her initially. Now, if I had a conversation with her, then I could get more intel and possibly realize that I was right or wrong. But, we do have to be able to look at what we see and analyze from that. Let's go to this story, and I guess we can get a little more details on it. Now we play from here.
Caught a DoorDash delivery driver as they seemed to pepper spray his order. He says watching the video, he couldn't believe what he was seeing. It was just past midnight on December 7th when Mark Cardin and his wife decided to order DoorDash. It didn't take them long to realize something was wrong with their food.
And I noticed my wife had started eating and she started choking and gasping. And after she had had a couple bites of her food, she actually threw up.
Mark
That's so
started
awful.
to investigate.
And I had to look at the bag and see that there was some kind of spray or something the bag had been tampered with. So I pulled up my doorbell camera and seen that the lady that dropped the food off had actually tampered with it on purpose for some reason.
We've blurred the delivery driver's face since no charges have been filed yet, but this video from Mark's
this was
doorbell
before
camera caught her red-handed, spraying the food bag after dropping it off.
It's horrific. I mean, we assume it's pepper spray. It's more than likely what it is, but now in this day and age, it could have been anything. Could have been rat poison, could have been fentanyl. You know, I mean, my wife could have been dead.
Mark immediately contacted DoorDash and then law enforcement.
I definitely want to see her prosecuted.
The sheriff's office says they are investigating.
As you should.
And a possible charge could be consumer product tampering, a level 6 felony. Mark says they don't know the driver and they did tip her.
We live in a terrible world right now. Horrific. People are mean for no reason. There was no reason to do what she...
And a lot of people were saying that they didn't tip her. That's what a lot of people were saying. Like, she did it because she was angry that she didn't get a tip. But as we just heard here, he said he tipped her. So it's like, what are we doing with people just being evil human beings?
what she done.
He says he's using this experience to encourage others to be alert at all times.
I would say to anybody, if you order food on any kind of delivery service, make sure you have a doorbell. This is making me second guess ever ordering food from anywhere ever again.
It doesn't even matter if you have a doorbell. I mean, this woman's just a complete fool. So, you know, maybe she wanted to get caught. I can't really understand why she would do that. And usually those cameras are pretty visible. Usually they light up when you come up to the door. They got some type of light that glows or something like that. Or, you know, the ring around the light will glow and let you know that, you know, there's some activity going on with the camera. And she still chose to spray the food. So she just doesn't care. But honestly, I mean, these people will eat out of your food. They have cars that aren't cleanly. They got animals in their car. They got multiple people in their car, which I guess is okay to have other people in your car. You probably don't want, like, you know, dog fur and all that floating around your bag and your food. And depending on what restaurant you get it from, like some of the fast food restaurants are a little bit better because they got a better system. You know, maybe like a McDonald's or something like that. They will try to seal your bag with a tamper seal or whatever so you can understand if it was broken that, you know, you need to be a little more aware. However, some of these mom and pops restaurants, they just got, you know, cellophane case. They wrap it up in one of those thank you plastic bags, and that's the end of it. You can easily go in there, you know, unwrap it, have a couple fries, you know, close up the bag, or obviously do something terrible to somebody's food. So, yeah, I mean, it's a bad wake-up call to get, but I think that, you know, DoorDash, the Uber Eats, and all of these type of companies need to do a better job with vetting the people that they hire, because at this point, it's getting very dangerous. And I think we will have some cases, if we haven't already, that just haven't been brought to light of people getting extremely sick and or losing their life because of these type of delivery people. So I don't know. It is what it is. More than likely, I have a low % chance of it happening to me or anybody I care about because I'm just not going to order from these services. But, I mean, I guess even I'm susceptible to it as well. So it's just all bad. Just all bad. But I want to look at a couple other things. Let's see, what do we have? So we were looking at like just workers that are actually look what. Oh yeah, we're gonna pull this one up. We were looking at workers that are actually like tampering with food on purpose, but then we have major chain grocery stores like Albertsons, which I believe they usually run out of the West Coast. When I lived in Washington, we had Albertsons out there. So I know Albertsons is definitely out in Washington. I don't know where else they're out of, but they're definitely there for sure. And this guy actually exposes them for not cleaning. I mean, look at that, y'all. This is at a large chain grocery store. They have never cleaned in there at all. And this is, I guess, what's missed in your groceries. Let's go ahead and hear what he has to say. It's a quick video.
Bro, look at y'all produce at the grocery store. Look what's under it. Boy, look at all that black mold with the fan blowing. The moldy water all on your shit. Boy, look, Ace. Rinse it down with the mold water. That's horrible. And bro, look at y'all.
And that this can happen to anyone. Like, I mean, maybe you don't order food from DoorDash, but then, you know, who doesn't go to the grocery store to get their food? So, you know, we got to be careful from all aspects with what we eat, because these people just don't care, right? Like, no matter what level that it's at. Let me see. What do we have? Yeah, I did want to look at the prices of things going up. I did want to check out the pricing. So what I wanted to look at first was this dynamic pricing. We'll look at this a little bit. It's a little bit off topic, but it kind of still fits in because we're getting worse food, but we're actually getting charged more for it at this point. So I think this all makes sense. Let's go ahead and check out, and I'm pretty sure we've all seen this at our stores, but now they have electronic pricing tags so they can use dynamic pricing. And it's very they use an algorithm basically to figure out how much they can charge for everything. Let's go ahead and check this video out real quick.
Oh my God, look. These price tags started updating right in front of me. This is crazy, dude. Oh my God, that cup went up in price. I wish I would have. I had to like get my camera going, right?
I've seen this before.
There was a delay. Dude, this was under $2. I don't know. I don't remember exactly. Maybe it was like $1.98. Now it's $2.18. But like, oh wait, did that just go down?
That's because you've been looking too long. They like, he ain't about to buy none. Let me lower the price for bro real quick.
I've never been in a store
He'll
and
take it at
actually watched the
$1.98.
price of something go up right in front of me as I walked up to buy it. And now it's glitched out and it isn't showing the price anymore.
They got bro all the way confused, bro. He don't know what's going on.
Judge my physical and mental, my physical as well as my mental fitness.
But we see this. I guess the closest thing we can associate it to, well, not exactly, but if you look at gas stations, they do this, right? Gas station, you go there one day, it'll be $3.19 a gallon. You go there tomorrow, it'll be $3.50. Then it'll be down to $2.80. Then, you know, maybe in the same day it could shift. And they update the gas prices all the time. And, you know, these companies are doing the same things now that are at the grocery stores, that are at the general stores, the big chains. And, I mean, we're going to see this more. Video games do this as well. There was a famous quote from Doug Bowser from Nintendo earlier this year, right before the Switch 2 came out, and they started to announce more games that were going to be $70 and possibly even $80. And he talked about dynamic pricing. Dynamic pricing is what he called it. And dynamic pricing basically said that we're going to charge you based off of how much you want this product. If we don't think you're going to want it very much, we'll take a little bit less. But if it's highly anticipated, like a Mario Kart World, well, we're going to need $80 for that, buddy. So, you know, we've seen this, and that's where everything's going. It's just kind of like, so, I mean, I don't know exactly how this technology works, but we'll definitely do a little more deep diving into it and figure it out. But I will say that since he was standing there and kind of looking like he was unsure about the purchase, you've seen the price drop, right? But if he just needed some cups and he had to hurry up and just buy something, and that was within his price range, maybe it would have stayed at $2.19. So very, very interesting. And I bring that up to talk about how much the prices of things are going up. So let's go ahead and look at this graphic right here. I'll blow it up a little bit. Let's see. This is Instacart. And again, one of the reasons I don't use a lot of these delivery services. So I've actually delivered for Instacart. And one of the things that they tell you is they don't want you to give the receipt to the customer. They actually will deactivate you if you give the physical receipt to the customer. You're supposed to take a picture of it, and then afterwards, you're to keep that receipt with you and discard it. But never under any circumstance do you give it to the customer. And if the customer asks you for the receipt, if you get to delivery and for whatever reason, I mean, most people just want it just left at their door. They don't want to engage with you. But sometimes you have a friendly lady that'll be waiting there, and she might want to give you a cash tip, and she's got a great attitude, and you get to her door and you're giving her groceries, and she's like, "Do you mind if I get the receipt?" They tell you specifically, DoorDash will email you a receipt for all of your purchases, and we do not give out receipts. We don't have it. We don't get it. Whatever you need to say, which kind of makes it tough on us because then, they might take our tip away, or they might give us a low rating because we didn't give them the receipt when they asked. So it's kind of hard to say no, but that's what DoorDash wants. I honestly don't care. I guess it could work the same way though, because if they see that they're overcharged for all these items, they might still take your tip away. So, you just hope they don't ask, but we're looking at it right here. And this is absolutely true. If you ever go on Instacart and you look up these products, they will almost always be upcharging you. And this is very reasonable for a place like Instacart and any of the other delivery services, Shipt, Spark, name them, that do these delivery services. So we're getting charged more for worse product. And it's kind of crazy, right? This woman right here was actually pretty upset over it. Let's check her out.
I cannot give you the box these down to those.
I took a picture of the price, and all of them are right here.
I'm not knocking them down.
So can I speak to your manager, because I have a picture of all of these meats right here.
But they're not.
So
they're
that's
not
on
$6.
you. That's on the company. That's on the company. I don't understand why you're getting so loud at me.
Because the way you're saying
This is
it,
your
it's on
accident.
me.
This is the company's accident. All of these are right there, and it says $6.
The only thing they can do for one package is take off 10%. Other than that, that's it.
That's better than it says $6 over there with all of those.
I'll call somebody.
Yeah, because that's on y'all. All of them are right there. It say $6. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate Walmart.
So crazy.
At all costs, I avoid this shit. Like, I just told that bitch, like, what if I would have stole this fucking food? Like, y'all know what the fuck people going through. Brandon, I could have bought that fucking $11 ground beef, but it's a fucking principle, bitch. Y'all fucking employee did this shit. And she going to sit there and have a fucking attitude with me like I'm the one that stopped that shit. Bitch, if I went to Kroger's, Publix, any fucking where, and the employee did that dumbass shit, they would have honored the price. And she would have sit there and act like, oh, I can't honor the price.
Well, Walmart's ghetto as hell, and I'm not surprised at the way that they treated you, but Publix and Kroger's and all them, they're pretty much the same. They just, present themselves a little bit better than Walmart. But we are seeing that. Did I have anything else? Let me check something real quick. Then we're going to get into the CampBell's thing. How we doing on time? Yeah, we're doing pretty good on time. I want to talk to that. What is that? I don't even know what this is. Yeah, we could check that out. I'm going to save that. Yeah, we'll come back to that. Let's go to the CampBell's situation. Let's talk about that. This the main story. A little late getting to it. Oh yeah, I got you. All right, let's get to it. All right, let's let the news story start us out, and then we'll talk about it.
Intense scrutiny for a top exec at CampBell's Soup who's accused of saying some pretty wild stuff, like that the meat in the soup is bioengineered from a 3D printer, and allegedly going on an offensive and in some case racist rant. It's all because a former employee who's suing the company says he secretly recorded CampBell's VP and Chief Information Security Officer Martin Bally during what that worker describes as an hour-long tirade. We've got the recording, and we want to warn you here, it's pretty harsh. Listen.
We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit? So healthy. Now that I know what the in it, even in a can of soup, I look at it, you could eat bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer.
In the lawsuit, the former employee also alleges Bally made racist remarks about Indian workers, calling them idiots, when he reported the tirade to company man.
Yeah, well, we didn't hear him say anything about Indian workers, so y'all could have played that audio too, and then it would have been a little more relevant to talk about. I think that doesn't matter at this point because you didn't play the audio about him talking about Indian workers, and I think that it's actually a way to divert from what the main topic is about the 3D printed meat and the bioengineered food that they are peddling out to the people. Now, I want to say this is not necessarily a secret because it is printed on a lot of labels, and I want to talk a little bit about what the bioengineered meat and the 3D printed meat situation is. I'm going to let this play out, and then we'll talk about exactly what it is, because I don't think a lot of people know what bioengineered and genetically modified food products are. So I will explain that to you so you have a better understanding of exactly what it is. And they need to put the full audio out. We're only hearing clips. They said it was like over an hour-long rant. So I'd like to hear the whole hour-long rant, but they got to some of the main topics, I guess, at this point.
Management, he was terminated in retaliation, allegedly, for complaining about that alleged behavior. CampBell's has not confirmed the statements to NBC, but did say that if they were made, they do not reflect the company's values. NBC News also reached out to Bally, but haven't heard back. Let's bring in Camila Bernal. Camila, this is just what we played is just a little bit of this, right? There's more to these allegations?
There's many more of these allegations, and I also read through the lawsuit, Hallie, and what this former employee says is that this all happened over a conversation about his salary. He says they sat down about a year ago to talk through all of these things, and that's when he began speaking badly about the company, saying things like this was processed food and saying this was for poor people, as you heard there on that recording. And like you mentioned, this goes on for a while, and I want you to listen to more of that conversation.
Everybody thinks our recipes are like crown jewels or not. They're important, but no, it's the process. It's the process that makes the food. You know, the ingredients are in the best can.
So not only does he talk about the food, but this lawsuit also alleges that this VP went on to talk about employees at the company, and the lawsuit alleges that they're racist comments. Take a listen to those comments.
They couldn't put the dumb.
So clearly there was no filter during this conversation. The former employee also alleges that the executive admitted to going to the office high on edibles. I mean, again, this goes on and on about a number of different things here. And apparently the former employee reported all of this to his manager. He says that some time went on and he wasn't encouraged to go to HR. And so he got fired. And what he's saying now is that he believes his firing was retaliation for him coming forward and speaking out about all of this, Hallie.
Camila, we talked a little bit about some of what we heard from CampBell's on these alleged comments here.
You're done. You're done. Sorry, but you're done.
What else is this former employee, this former worker saying?
Well, first of all, I want to go back to what CampBell's is saying, because what they're saying is that they use 100% chicken. They say it's USDA approved. They go over the list and essentially say that all...
I got a question real quick. I'm going to let her finish. But one of my things was, even when I was young, like, I never liked or thought it was okay to eat meat out of a can that could last for like years. I always thought it was strange. Like, you'd buy a can of CampBell's chicken noodle soup because that's what they push on you to eat when you're sick, which I think is completely wrong, honestly, now that I have a lot more knowledge itself. But they would say, you know what? You're good. Just have some CampBell's soup or, you know, just eat it out of a can. And I'm like, the expiration date on this is like 5 years out. Like, you buy some CampBell's soup today and the expiration date be like 2031. And it's chicken in there and they say it's real chicken. But how is that possible? Because I know for a fact, and people might say, well, it's sealed in a can and there's preservatives and all that. I mean, sure, that's fair enough. But real meat rots. It decomposes. Wouldn't necessarily, if you open a can, and I wouldn't even got to go 5 years, let's just go a year. Wouldn't it naturally just be gone, be nothing? And I would argue to say that even if you open a can and just put it up somewhere, that it would still look the same 5 years from now without even being sealed in a can. So I always thought that was, even when I was younger, I was like, I just don't want that. And when people would give me like I go to someone's house or whatever, like, you know, somebody would give me like chicken noodle soup or something like that, or beef stew or whatever the case is, and it was out of a can, I would just eat around the meat. I would just drink the juice and I would eat the noodles, and even that's bad, but I would never eat the meat at all.
All of this that this current employee said was false. They also, I want to note, have this employee on leave while they investigate all of this. So he has not been fired yet, but he is
about to
on
make
leave.
him leave
and
the
I wanna read
earth.
Part of the statement
He
that
messing up
CampBell's
the
put out,
bag.
where they say we are proud of the food that we make, the people who make it, and the high quality ingredients that we use. We know that millions of people use CampBell's products, and we are honored by the trust they put in us. The comments made about our food are completely inaccurate and absurd. So again, they also emphasize that the employee who made these comments, the vice president, works in cybersecurity and IT, and so they say he has nothing to do with the making of the actual food. On the other hand, you have this former employee who, of course, is suing, but who also says that essentially this was extremely emotional and really damaging for him, not just emotionally, but financially as well. Talks about being embarrassed and just being put out on the spot essentially for all of this, when he alleges that all he wanted to do was come out and tell the truth. I want to read part of his statement and what he's saying now. He says, this situation has been very hard on Robert. This is from his attorney. He says he thought CampBell's would be thankful that he reported Martin's behavior, but instead he was abruptly fired. We look forward to obtaining justice for Robert. So as this lawsuit plays out in court, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. CampBell has not verified the audio. We have not been able to verify the audio, but again, those
what stays at CampBell's, or what happens in CampBell stays at CampBell's. It's like Vegas. It's like Vegas. You can't be telling everybody what goes on within the company, especially when you're a high level exec, right? If you're just a lower level, you're just on the plant, you're on the floor, you're just, you know, putting soup in cans, boxing it up, shipping it out all over the world so millions of Americans and possibly even other countries could eat it. You know, it's cool. Like, we're not expecting any anonymity from you. But if you're executive level and you're putting out these remarks, like, nah. Because if he'd went to the CEO and he'd have been like, look, I just heard bro said this over here in IT. He talking about the food is 3D printed and I got him on tape and I'm gonna leak the audio. CEO would have been like, look, you got, he'd have been like in paid in full. Mitch, Cameron, that's the only tape you got. It's everything's on that SSD. That's the only copy. That would have been it. Never would have left the room and I never would have been talking about it. At least not this soon. Not with this type of damning evidence. All right, let's see. So the people right now are reacting. This woman right here, she looks like she eats a lot of CampBell's soup. But even she's pushing back and saying, nope, nope, nope. We're not eating it no more.
We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit? I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's not healthy. Now that I know what the in it.
$1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7.
A piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer? You?
That's like $10 a soup right there. And it cost them a lot less to make it. Each of those cans of their 3D printed meat and fake noodles, it's probably made mostly of plastic, microplasties, unfiltered water soup. It's like $10 it's like 10 cents a can. So the people are starting to react, and we're going to look more at the people in a minute, actually. Do I have anything else? Oh, okay. So I had it right here because I didn't have an actual can of CampBell's soup. I haven't bought a can of CampBell's soup ever in my life, actually. Me personally, I haven't bought it. It's been in my households before, you know, as I was a kid growing up, but I've never, under any circumstance, before, during, or after these allegations, have I ever bought CampBell's soup. I always looked at it and was like, this is terrible. Like, who the hell would buy this? Now, I have bought soup in a can before, but I try to get some of the more, you know, natural looking stuff. And even then, I'm very suspicious, and I never order meat that are canned. I always thought people were weird when they used to eat Spam. Y'all remember Spam? I mean, I think it's still being sold. If I'm not mistaken, I seen it on a shelf not long ago when I was going through like a Walmart or something. But Spam, sardines, all of the soups. If I got the soup in a can, it was only like, or it'd be like, I would get like the canned beans, or I get just like the vegetable broth, whatever. But nothing with meat. All right, let's see what this says. Breaking update. CampBell's soup ingredients list includes bioengineered food ingredient, and we're going to talk about that actually right after this. I'll explain exactly what it is. And maybe they'll talk about it here. Let's see. An ingredient from corn that comes from generically modified crops. Then they sell this to schools to feed our kids. They're saying Robert F. Kennedy Jr. needs to put a stop to this. I'm assuming that's who he is. Let me check real quick. Is that his at? Yeah. Yeah, it's Kennedy Jr. right there. The whistleblower audio shows that CampBell's is knowingly selling unhealthily, that's not what it says, garbage that their executives admit they wouldn't eat to poor people. Is that what it says? Garbage that their executives admit they wouldn't eat to poor people. I don't know. It sounds like it's not written correctly. Should executives be able to make products that they themselves wouldn't eat and push it in and push it in our kids, I feel like this person isn't writing correctly. Bioengineered meat, Bill Gates factory meat, a lot in common with cancer meat. If the executives at Campbell won't eat their own food, why are they allowed to feed it to our kids? Well, that's always been the case. You see it in social media. I think, who was it? Was it Mark Zuckerberg? Was it the people that created TikTok when TikTok was owned by China? Did America actually buy TikTok at this point? Did that China sale go through? I don't even know. I know that was a thing and then it wasn't. So I don't know if China still owns TikTok or not. But I know that the original creators of TikTok that are from China said they won't let their kids use TikTok. They only push it on Americans. And we are some of the biggest consumers in the world. Americans will buy anything, will eat anything, will do anything. And so these countries sell to us and don't care whatsoever. But let's go ahead and look at what's in here, since we got this person showing an actual can. And let's see, chicken stock, enriched egg noodles, some stuff I can't even name. Acid, doesn't sound good. Chicken fat, yeast extract, let's see, egg wheat. And they're out of New Jersey. Contains a bioengineered food ingredient. What might that be? An ingredient comes from corn, and this product comes from genetically modified crops. So they say it right there. Okay, so I want to go ahead and just explain to y'all about the whole bioengineered GMO food, all right? I think it was called GMO before it was called bioengineered. So we used to hear about GMO in food, and now we're hearing more like bioengineered. I think they just changed the verbiage on it, but it's pretty much all the same. So we'll talk about some of the benefits. Okay, these are some of the benefits as we have a population that is growing at a rapid rate throughout the world, although maybe not so much in America because we're actually not having children at the level that we once did. But the world as a whole, we do have to figure out how to feed more people. So we have to be a little more clever in the way that we can do that. Anyways, the benefits from bioengineered foods. Crops engineered, one of the benefits, higher yields and lower food costs. Crops engineered to resist pests or drought produce more food on less land, right? Can reduce crop losses, helping keep prices down. So yeah, like one of the things that anybody that gardens, I knew a woman, she gardened pretty much like all her food. And one of the main issues that she had was pests, but then also even like rabbits. Was it deer? Might have been deer. I forgot what animal. It was one of those bigger animals too. Fox or something like that. I don't know. One of those animals, but they would eat up all her crops. Raccoons. Now, raccoons eat out of garbage cans. But yeah. But she was dealing with that. So I think it was mostly rabbits though. And they were just like destroying her crops, eating up all her crops. And, you know, when she was able to keep the bigger animals out with like fences and stuff like that, then the pests and the insects and stuff would destroy her crops as well. So they need to use a lot of pesticides to combat that. Pest-resistant crops like bioengineered corn can reduce spraying initially, improve nutrition. Some foods are engineered. They're engineered to add nutrients like vitamin A and enriched rice. And it's a longer shelf life. And we spoke about that earlier when we're talking about some of these cans of meat can be on the shelf for a half a decade before they say that it'll expire. But even then, you could probably eat it a full decade from then and it would be exactly the same. I used to always hate when you have like the old auntie or the grandma or probably even your mom, and they would be like, you look at, they give you some food and you look at the expiration date and you'd be like, these chips expired 6 months ago. And they're like, it ain't gonna do nothing to you. It's still gonna, it's okay. Don't gotta worry about the expiration date. I'm like, ain't it on there for a reason? Like, it said it expired 6 months ago. You already had it for 2 years. You still want me to eat this? You ain't gonna be wasting my food. Like, man, look, I'm gonna go to sleep hungry tonight. All right, let's look at the disadvantages. Heavy chemical dependence. Many GMO crops, bioengineered crops as well, are designed to tolerate herbicides, which has led to more spraying, not less. Super weeds. Health uncertainty. No clear short-term danger for most people. Okay. Long-term, multi-generation human studies are limited, meaning that a lot of this is newer. Some of it has been around, but I think we're dealing with this more from, I would say, the year 2000 currently, but I would say it's probably been more over like the last 10 years, where I think it's like, because I've even noticed it myself, where some of the products that I bought that I stopped buying because I look at the labels. I am a label reader. Although, I don't think it always makes all the difference, but I will look at labels and I'll see like it's something weird in there, like some product that I just don't really think fits. And then I'm just like, you know what? Let me just pass on this. So I seen actually some ranch, and it was strange because it was actually plant-based ranch. Like this was plant-based ranch. So I'm thinking like, it's plant-based, it should be healthy. And it said it had bioengineered product in it. And it was plant-based. And it was really just like labeled as like vegan and healthy and all that. But it had, and I could actually tell you it was, Hidden Valley. It was Hidden Valley Ranch, the plant-based one. And I'm like, this gotta be good, right? I looked in there, bioengineered. I was like, wow, put it back on the shelf. And it was expensive as hell. I'm like, ain't that supposed to make the cost be less if it's bioengineered? At least if you're going to feed me fake food, at least give it to me at a discount. It's crazy. Anyways, corporate control. The seeds are patented. They're patenting these products that they are making because they own the rights to them because it didn't come from the earth. They made it in a lab. So they can patent these seeds and then therefore sell them or make money off the actual intellectual value of it. Farmers often can't save seeds and must buy annually, okay? So corporate control, corporations always want to take as much from the people as they can. Environmental impact. Microcropping reduces biodiversity, whatever that is. Cross contaminants. Cross contaminants is another issue of it. Okay, so the 3D printed portion of this, and we're going to look at some of the people because I want to see what some of the people have to say. So we'll get to that in 1 second. So 3D printed food. This is a real thing. A lot of people say 3D printed food isn't real. How is that possible? It is possible, and it's being done, okay? I can give you a couple images of it. Show you real quick. Here, I'll just pull it up for you like this. Oh, yeah, that's fine. There. All right, you can see it right here. So this is actually 3D printed meat right here, okay? That's how it looks. It comes out like this, all right? Or it could be noodles. It could be a lot of different things. This is 3D printed. See the meat right here? Looks a little strange, right? Looks a little too perfect. Kind of looks like the toy meat that you would get. You know when you get the toy meat, the plastic meat, the little plastic steak that you would get as a kid and you play and you got all the fruit and all that? That's basically what it looks like. And then you see it right here, right? So, yes, they can actually make 3D printed meat. Now, I want to look at some of the benefits to it because we always try to be balanced over here, although I would say that there's really no benefits to any of this. But if there was some, it would be that food can be printed with exact micros, protein heavy for elderly, allergy-free meals, medical diets, diabetes, kidney disease. Uses alternative proteins, plant proteins, fungi, lab-grown meat. Lab-grown meat, that sounds crazy. Much lower land and water use than livestock. I was told at one point, like, just to like make a hamburger, like to basically like take a cow and basically, you know, I don't know, whatever. You take a cow and you slaughter it and you basically process hamburger meat and all that out of it and whatever else you're gonna make. It takes tons and tons of water to do that. So I've actually known that for a while. Let's see. Uses less waste. Uses food paste, powders, and byproducts that would normally be discarded. And consistency and customization. Same taste, texture, and shape every time. Have you ever noticed that when you got food and it should have some differences to it, it looks exactly the same? It looks just too perfect? Well, that's usually when you're getting the 3D printed stuff. Now, the disadvantage is it's ultra processed, often made from powders, isolates, binders, and additives, low in natural fiber and food structure. Nutrient absorption questions. The body doesn't always process engineered nutrients the same way as whole foods, okay? Improving, but still not the same as real whole food. So the texture and the taste, you can taste it. It's a little bit weird. And I actually want to look at one lady that shows this. We'll go to her actually in a second. Energy and cost. Printers, cartridges, and processing require electricity and infrastructure. Not cheap or accessible yet. So still figuring out the energy part of it, but we got all the energy we need from the mother sun. So they will figure out a way to make this cost effective. And that's the reason that they're doing it. So, yeah, let's go ahead and look at a couple of other things real quick. I wanted to show this woman right here that actually got one of these meals that are supposed to be really fun to eat, but I mean, this is almost 100% 3D printed, bro. If you ever want to see a 3D printed meal, we're going to show you one right here. Check this out. This is crazy.
Okay, I just bought this. It was $4.39.
And it's expensive.
Pre-tax, right? Pre-tax. And I was warming it up. I went to open it up to flip it around. And this is what I got. And I'm just saying, this Marie Callender, this was good. This was good. I love their pot pies. Even their pot pies are good. But that is I'm sorry. That is sad. That's a sad meatloaf.
You know what's crazy? If she didn't say she ain't gonna eat it, she didn't on camera grab that tray and throw it in the trash and say, I'm never eating this product again. She just came on to complain with no action. Now, what we want to do is, as us, we all want to, let's all try to do something that is beneficial for us as a people. Let's try, everybody that's watching this, can we just take out one product that you know is terrible from you and stop buying and eating it? Just one. I know it's hard. It's very tough for all of us because we don't have a lot of options, right? And that's the problem. Like, I mean, we do have a lot of options, but it can be costly. And I mean, as much as she paid for that, I mean, honestly, like, but I even think that they're getting at like the vegetables and the fruits and stuff like that. I don't even trust bananas anymore. I was talking to Tira and I was like, yo, like, why are bananas the only thing that still have not gone up in price? And it's just like they're always in abundance of bananas. And they always say they come from like the other side of the world. And I'm like, how the hell do they come from the other side of the world when it would take them days to get here? Right? You're not doing overnight express on 1 billion bananas. But then they get here and they're always like green and ready to go. But then if you have them in your house for 12 hours, they're immediately turning brown and got brown spots and they're dark yellow within like 12 hours. Like, I don't even trust bananas anymore. I bought some bananas. They were green. I tried to have one, and it was like all tough and hard to eat. I was like, you know what? I'm good. I just let it sit there, sit on the shelf. I come back like the next morning, and it was already like damn near spoiled. I'm like, what is going on? So there's something weird happening. And I would even argue that even on the box, that doesn't even look real. Like, they're not even trying to hide it. Meatloaf, that is not what meatloaf looks like at all. Don't even look like real meat. It's exactly what we just described as far as what bioengineered and 3D printed food looks like. This guy had something to say about candy.
They didn't used to taste like that. Has anybody else noticed that Reese's peanut butter cups taste nasty now? I was dipping into my kids' Halloween candy and figured I'd go for one, and it tasted like straight chemicals. And I swear they didn't used to taste like that. Now, I understand
they probably always have
chock full of chemicals, so it makes sense, but I could swear they didn't used to taste that nasty.
The problem is that when we get used to something, we don't really notice a difference. So more than likely what happened with this guy and why he can taste the chemicals in the Reese's now, because they probably always tasted like that to a degree. I think they've gotten worse over time for sure. But because he probably hasn't eaten it in a long time, and he probably has been eating a little more healthy, looks like he's taking pretty good care of himself. Unlike the lady that sprayed pepper spray on that poor customer's DoorDash order, this guy looks like he's been taking care of himself. So he's just like, probably been eating really healthy, but, it's probably like Halloween and, kid offered him some candy and he just, let me get a Reese's. I ain't had a Reese's in like 2 years. And he ate it and he's like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not used to it. But when you eat this stuff constantly, you don't even understand what it's doing to you. And it's probably at a DNA level, probably restructuring your molecular cells or something like that, like turning you into something different. And I think it's a lot of the reason why we get a lot of these terminal illnesses that take us out abruptly. All right, let's go ahead and hear from some of the people because I wanted to end and let the people kind of communicate what they're seeing out here. So we're going to go rapid fire through a lot of these because I have a fair amount of them ready to go. Yeah, we could save these. I have some other stuff, but let's go straight into what I got. I got about like 8 of these, maybe 12. We'll try to get through a lot of them. So let's just go rapid fire. Let's let the people talk, all right? I'm going to let the people talk. We are going to start out with this video right here. We can go back to this graphic. All right, this woman saying all of our food is 3D printed. Let's check it out.
Hungry Jack bioengineer. This shit is like you make put in your chicken. Bioengineered motherfucking grits, bitch. It says bioengineered food. Not an ingredient. This whole thing is 3D. Of course, anything Campbell's. Bitch, the El Paso enchilada sauce.
Damn, not the El Paso enchilada sauce.
Crackers. I ate this whole box this week. I got one little sleeve left. Because I done ate the fuck out of them. Motherfucking noodles is too.
We already knew that was.
I think we all knew these wasn't good for you because how cheap they are.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Those noodles have been bioengineered. They're the first company to ever do it. I think everybody took their bioengineered 3D printing from them. That has never been real food, ever.
But still, no wonder they don't taste the same. Pizza roll.
I'll never buy anybody those damn cheap ass Martian ramen noodles. I can't even pronounce the name. So nasty.
Oh, yes, that includes Tostino's. Bluebell, contains bioengineered. And Ben & Jerry's don't. This fucking Butterfinger, bioengineered. My whole damn bag of Grand's Pale Mary's cinnamon rolls, bioengineered. I ain't even opened these yet. Motherfucking Rice Krispies.
No, not Rice Krispies,
man. Bitch and marshmallows. No wonder when I made Rice Krispie treats, they tasted funny. Even the fucking bread, dude. The fucking...
I want to shout out Tara. She made some Rice Krispies. I haven't got a chance to try them yet, but she used not those Rice Krispies, not these guys right here, which I actually like Snap. I like Snap, Crackle, and Pop, though, man.
Rose. Bioengineered. I ain't even opened these yet.
Pillsbury's bioengineered though.
Motherfucking.
I like those guys, man. I like the characters. Honestly, like, that's what be getting us though. It be how fun the food looks. The food looks fun, but it's terrible for you.
Rice Krispies. And these sons of bitch and marshmallows. No wonder when I made Rice Krispie treats, they tasted funny. Even the fucking bread, dude. The fucking bread! Oh, Piggly Wiggly's in on it too, huh? Oh no, this is engineered.
I feel you, girl. I feel you.
Stop. Oh my God, I fucking hate myself right now.
It's all right. You're waking up though. Now, you are going to be out about a couple $100 after you throw all that away, right? You're not going to eat any of that, are you? I don't know, man. What else you going to buy though, right? Like, that's the problem. We can't avoid it totally. I'm sure our bodies adapt somewhat to this stuff. All right, let's keep going.
Now, I think we all know that the food in the U.S. is trash. But to see it change before your eyes is actually very astonishing. This is lemon pepper that I buy from Aldi's. This is the one that I have been buying for years. Recently went to Aldi's and I purchased this one. Now, it looked a little weird when I was in the store, but I didn't think anything of it. Before I got ready to put on my roasted lemon pepper chicken, I decided to see if I had an old bottle because I'm like, maybe this one is just stale or old. Lo and behold, I found my old bottle, which is this one. I look at it and I'm like, okay, it says it's the same thing, but maybe this is just like a one-off. So I go and I look at the ingredients in this because it says it's the same product. It's supposed to do the same thing. I look at the ingredients in this and look at this. The ingredients in this one is salt, black pepper, citric acid, sugar, lemon peel, natural lemon zest flavor, garlic onion, contains bioengineered ingredients. Now, I try my best to stay away from that, be it bull for myself and my kids. This is the older one that I bought that I still had in my cabinet, and it's salt, black pepper, citric acid, onion, sugar, celery seed, garlic, tricalcium phosphate, and silicone dioxide to make free-flowing, lemon oil, and turmeric for color. Baby, they have literally stripped this down. I can't even say stripped it down. They'd have added whatever they wanted to add to it, sprinkled in a little bioengineered ingredient. This is damn lemon pepper. Why the hell y'all need that? I don't even think this said it had lemon zest in it. Let me see. No, it's lemon peel, natural lemon zest. Okay, so it does have that in it. Nevertheless, you can't trust nothing and nobody out here. And I am so disgusted. I don't know. All these had led us to believe for years that, no, I'll say they started out giving us like the trash food. I won't even lie. When I was growing up, I lived in the hood in Chicago. And when you went to Aldi, you were poor. And so we hated going to Aldi because the food trash was quality. So they reinvented themselves, sprinkled a little gentrification on it, and they started having healthier food, or what we were led to believe. People that did not look like myself or my family growing up, or were not geographically in the same area that I was in, they started shopping at Aldi's. Aldi's had commercials. They never had commercials when I was growing up. They had name brand foods. They never did. So they had pitched it into thinking that it was healthy. Lo and behold, they have reverted back to the bullshit. And look at where we are. I am disgusted. So where are y'all shopping for y'all food? Because I am having a hard time finding food that has not been played with in a lab. Now, I think we all know that the food in the U.S. is trash.
All right, so that's what she had to say.
Let's see what snack cakes are bioengineered.
I used to like powdered donuts. Damn, Little Debbie. No? I know those are. You know those are going to be. I used to love those growing up. I actually want to see, I'm curious, Star Crunch. Do y'all remember Star Crunch? It's so sad. Like, I wouldn't eat this stuff even if it wasn't bioengineered now. But every once in a while, if I seen one and I could just have like a half of one just to have that nostalgia kick, I would eat like a couple of bites of it, but now I wouldn't even eat it at all. And with Star Country, always Little Debbie. Little Debbie seemed to age well. She still looks like she did 25 years ago. Yep. No, not Swiss cakes. No, not Swiss cakes. Oh, they got Swiss cakes. No. I want to have one of those. I just want to have like one Swiss cake. I can't even eat Swiss cakes no more. The crazy thing about it is I haven't ate any of these products like at all, but I used to get these singly from like the corner stores or, yeah, mostly like the corner stores and stuff, you know, younger. This is like honey buns and all that type of stuff and moon pies and whatever the case is, like all of those types of foods. And I used to eat them all the time, and I'm wondering, and I actually want to look this up, if they were always bioengineered or GMO. I'm going to look into that. If anybody knows the answer, let us know. Nutty Buddy? I never liked Nutty Buddies personally. No, not strawberry shortcake. Damn, they got strawberry shortcake. Those things are like eating a bite of sugar. Like if you eat that, it's just an explosion of sugar in your mouth. Wow, they're good.
Let's see what snack cakes are.
All right, let's keep going.
Bioengineered foods. Why are they bad? Bioengineered foods are foods that have had their DNA altered, and they do that for a variety of reasons.
I'll be right back.
When it comes to crops, let's say corn. By controlling the growing process in the DNA of the corn, it can lead to higher yields and more consistent crops. So the growers can guarantee the size of the crop of the corn and the quantity. But what happens when you alter DNA is you're adding genes or taking genes away from the food. And it's no longer real food, it's fake food. And those added genes can do a variety of things to our bodies. Like they could produce allergy symptoms, mess with our gut biome, leading to digestion issues, or a multitude of other health risks. Back in the 50s and 60s, they didn't have bioengineered food. All of a sudden in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and today, you're seeing obesity issues in America. Autism rates are higher, ADD rates are higher, not to mention depression and anxiety. When these yields are higher and the production is higher, it leads to lower costs. So you'll see a ton of bioengineered foods in like discount grocery stores. While we're talking about it, there's a lot of added chemicals to bioengineered foods. And our bodies are pretty smart. They know how to handle like calories, but they don't know how to handle chemicals. So when we're eating processed foods with a lot of chemicals, the body doesn't know how to digest it, so it tries to get rid of that in another form. Think the big C word, cysts, tumors, or it just stores it as fat. And then we have a really hard time getting rid of that fat, no matter how hard we exercise, because it's stored in the body and the body really doesn't know what to do with it. We can't deny the health crisis in America. Think about it, there's some countries out there that our foods in America are banned there. Some of the ingredients they won't allow. As always, do your own research on what you're putting into your body and make your own decisions.
That was an excellent breakdown by him.
I think I probably have a much higher IQ than you do, I suspect.
Very, very good breakdown of it was actually very interesting about how he said how it stores fat and our bodies don't know what to do to get rid of that fat with these bioengineered foods. And you do see a very significant correlation to obesity with people that eat all of these types of foods. And, you know, it's pretty sad. And then also, like you said, all these diseases and tumors and cancers and different things like that. You know, our bodies just don't know what to do with it. It's so foreign to us that, you know, if it's a natural food, then usually naturally our bodies are going to know how to handle it. But when it's not, it's like, you know, what are we going to do? So I think it's tough, right? I was looking at some of the things like from, well, I don't know, we'll get into it later. I was going to talk about the whole RFK part of this, but I think that it doesn't really necessarily add to what we're talking about right now. But he did also make another point about how other countries do not sell this garbage and slop to their people.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy. You get your goddamn ugly ass on.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy. You get your goddamn ugly ass on.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy. You get your goddamn ugly ass on.
Oh.
See what else?
Bioengineered food ingredients in DiGiorno pizza. This is not real pizza.
Stop. DiGiorno? Come on, DiGiorno. I remember DiGiorno used to be all of that. Like, if you got a frozen pizza and it was DiGiorno, that was like the highest level of pizza you could get. Like Jack's pizza was the worst, damn near. There's probably some a little worse than I think Jack's was the worst. It was all thin. Like Jack's pizza, I'm pretty sure that's like 100% bioengineered. But if you got DiGiorno, like that was close to like getting a real pizza. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. Like you used to feel like you was eating proper like when you got a DiGiorno pizza, and here they are.
Contains a bioengineered food ingredient. That is fancy terminology for genetically modified or GMO. Enriched flour, synthetic vitamins added back in, inflammatory cheaps, vegetable oils of corn oil, soybean oil, canola oil, is garbage. Just carbs and crap. Instead, swap it out for Capello's Pizza. You can find it at Whole Foods, and they have a variety of pizzas. They use extra virgin olive oil and clean ingredients. So bring the right frozen pizza home to your family and follow the channel for more food shopping tips. Bioengineered food ingredients in DiGiorno pizza. This is not real pizza. Right here contains a bioengineered food ingredient. That is fancy terminology for genetically modified or GMO. Enriched flour, synthetic vitamins added back in, inflammatory cheaps, vegetable oils of corn oil, soybean oil, canola oil, is garbage. Just carbs and crap. Instead, swap it out for Capello's Pizza. You can find it at Whole Foods, and they have a variety of pizzas. They use extra virgin olive oil and clean ingredients. So bring the right...
Capello's, huh? I'll look into them. I mean,
Virgin
I wouldn't eat
cleaning.
this anyways, but, if I was offering it to someone else, then, I'll look at Capello's and see what's going on. I don't know if he is a representative of Capello's or whatever, but, regardless of the fact, he proved that, DiGiorno does have bioengineered products. Let's see. Let's look at a few more.
Somebody please help me understand this.
No, don't say in the guac, bruh.
This is from 4 avocados. Haas avocados. Excuse my son playing games in the background. These are the avocados that have been sitting out on the table.
They look like...
in my house.
They look like toys. They
for
don't even
5
look real.
days. Look at this.
You know what's crazy is
Look
I've
at
seen
this.
this before.
I can't. It is so
It's
hard.
like plastic.
I've cut it with a knife. If you could see the little knife mark.
I've had this happen,
It was
bro, and I was
so
like, this shit
hard.
is not
It
good.
doesn't
I just threw it away.
Mash. It is weird.
I just took the
Like,
loss.
What is going on with our food? Like, I don't even want to eat this anymore.
She's not
This is
cat,
ridiculous.
bro.
This is 4 avocados.
Because I
was
love
supposed to make
avocados.
some guacamole, so because I'm cooking papas and stuff, and I can't even
Don't eat
do
that.
anything. Look, it's like plastic, like rubbery.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Even that seed don't look real.
Somebody help me understand this. What are the?
I'll tell you exactly what it is. It ain't real. It was printed. It's fake. You gotta go organic now. Your food has to be organic now. Honestly, it does. If it's not organic, you're cooked. I can't believe they getting avocados too, though. And even organic probably is still shady, but at least, it's possible that it's good. Let's check out like one more. These are some of the foods, though. If you're eating this, it's already over, bro. Like, you shouldn't be eating this anyways. You know what I'm saying? Like, eating food from a guy, like, the people that be eating, like, the people that be eating hot dogs from the hot dog roller and, or the egg sandwiches or the turkey sandwiches and all that at the gas station, like, y'all already are down. And it's overpriced. Imagine paying for plastic like that. I'm assuming he's gonna go through everything and it's all gonna be bioengineered. The crazy part is they have to tell you this stuff. So we actually see it, but damn, the pizza too? The crazy part about it is, like, we see a lot of these things on our foods. And we see a lot of, like, you could tell somebody to make a good decision and you'll give them all the evidence that the decision that they're currently making is terrible, and they will still make the bad decision. I don't really think it matters that this says bioengineered. Most people aren't even gonna look at it, or if they do, they're gonna ignore it because their impulse is gonna kick in. I really just wanna eat this. So they're gonna eat it anyway. So it's pretty unfortunate, actually, how we're conditioned as humans. Let's go ahead and check out like one more.
So after the CampBell's fiasco, I went through the house. Absolutely everything.
We'll let this guy close this out.
Everything in the pantry has bioengineered products in it. Crackers, potato chips, everything. Beef sticks. You've got any kind of candy, any kind of cereal, all of your bread products, salad, any kind of salad toppings, all that. And then I got to thinking, what the hell is RFK doing? You know, the EPA was just allowed to start spraying our food with new forever chemicals. All of our food has bioengineered products in it. And what is RFK's job? Like, he did all this talking, all this bullshit in the beginning about how he was going to make us safe. What the hell has RFK done? Your guess is as good as mine. So after the CampBell's fiasco, I went through the house. Absolutely everything in the house, everything in the pantry has bioengineered products in it. Crackers, potato chips, everything. Beef sticks. You've got any kind of candy, any kind of cereal, all of your bread products.
Do these look tasty to you? I wonder what the Super Bowl ads would look like for these. Next month, new versions of Cheetos and Doritos are set to hit supermarket store shelves. The parent company, PepsiCo, is announcing these Simply Naked versions of the classic snacks, which will not contain any artificial colors or flavors. The U.S. PepsiCo CEO explaining that the new version is not a replacement, but just an added option for consumers. And the company also promises the flavor of the snacks will taste the same, even though they will look incredibly different. So we'd love to hear your thoughts once they hit store shelves. The change, though, does come after the AHA movement. The group's calling for Americans, it's actually called Americans for Ingredient. Consumer prices at the grocery store are really going to spike because companies would have to reformulate their products for commonly found in packaged foods. Apples on U.S. shelves long after they've been banned and up against. Washington has the political impact of all.
So I just wanted to, give RFK a shout out because that guy attacked RFK, and, it's hard to implement a lot of these things, and he's actually going against the grain because they would pay him a lot of money to just shut the hell up and not have forced him to take out all these chemical dyes that he's already implemented in many of these foods. And I think he's actually doing more than anybody else would ever do under any circumstance. So I actually like RFK, and although he's not going to be perfect, he's doing a lot more than we've seen from anybody else or administration ever in the world, period. So shout out to RFK. I don't have a problem with him. I know that there's a lot of red tape and a lot of pushback that he's getting for what he's doing. And honestly, RFK has spoken out about this And a couple things about the dyes, and then we're gonna move on and get to our good story. But these dyes are petroleum derived chemicals originally created for industrial use, right? That's what the dyes are doing, that they're taking out all these foods now. And the main concern raised are behavioral effects in children. Multiple studies, especially outside the US, associate artificial dyes with increased hyperactivity, attention issues, behavioral dysregulation. This is why Europe requires warning labels or bans on many of them outright. Inflammation and gut-brain defects. Dyes can disrupt gut bacteria, which can affect the neurotransmitter production and inflammation signaling. No nutritional benefit whatsoever. Their only function is to make cheap processed food look more appealing, mass low-quality ingredients. RFK's reasoning, quote unquote, well, quote, if something exists solely to manipulate appearance and may impair neurological development, why allow it? He argues kids are the largest consumers. I agree with that. Europe already removed or restricted them. The US FDA standard is industry friendly but not precautionary. And then there's a whole bunch more that we'll try to get into later. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and defend RFK for the most part on what he's trying to do for the food products. Let's go ahead and get into our last story, which is the positive one. We talked about all these people being destroyed and hurt because of these foods that are being put out to us. But somehow this woman that is 102 years old has survived through it all.
I still wear. Get ready to go to church or out somewhere as I put my heels.
She's 102 years old, y'all.
And keep walking.
These fancy, sparkling 2.5, 3-inch strapped heels may be no big deal to you.
These are low.
Those are low?
Yeah. I wear them high now.
But when you consider the spunky fashionista wearing them, oh yeah, they're a big deal.
My name is Ivy Marie Broussard. I was born December the 22nd, 1922. In Houston, Texas, at 1622 Jameson Street, 5th Ward. I am 102 years old.
And in December?
If I make it to December, I'll be 103.
This North Houston 102-year-old is a sight to see. You see, she still prioritizes fashion.
I pick out these shoes.
And I actually want to point out, because this is actually very interesting, and I think that when we're younger, our developmental process is the most important part. They do say that kids that breastfeed, assuming that their mom is taking care of herself and eating healthy herself, that benefits the kid. If you look at this woman that's 102 years old, she was born in a time where processed and artificial and 3D printed food wasn't even thought of yet. And she was only able to consume natural foods as she was growing up, which probably set her developmental stage at a very good rate that just transitioned into the rest of her life. And here she is at 102, still walking, talking, and cognizant of what's going on.
Then I picked the dress out. Then I got the earrings and the necklace out.
She's her own makeup artist.
Regular powder, lipstick, and stuff like that I do.
Don't miss the mani-pedi.
I go down there and get my nails done once a month.
And when asked why she's still dressing up and strutting in heels?
Because I want to look good. So I might catch me a boyfriend.
Well, there you go.
I'm still alive.
I mean, she's had one before.
I have, but they were all dead now.
But then, just like that, a change of heart on.
That's one of the craziest parts too. If you live that long, like everybody that you know is pretty much gonna be gone. Like, I mean, she outlived more than likely her parents. She probably if she had kids, there's a good chance that all of her kids are gone and she's still alive. Like, honestly, her kids would be anywhere from 70, 60 at the youngest, assuming that she had her kids in her late 40s or early 40s or something like that. I mean, her kids are going to be anywhere from 60, which more than likely at how old she is. You know, women were having babies a lot earlier. So her kids are probably like in their 80s, and they're probably not even here anymore. It's completely insane. And, you know, so we got to look at that. But shout out to her. Shout out to this woman. And, you know, hopefully she continues to live and maybe lives the longest out of everybody or anybody ever, period. Let's see. I had a couple. Lola. My fault. I wasn't even looking at any of the comments. I was locked in. I just want to really just get back to just communicating with y'all. I really miss being here. So we'll get back to our regular shows, and I'll be getting content up. And I have a new channel that's coming out that's going to be all about just body cam footage that I'm going to review. So be looking out for that. I'll probably actually start that by the weekend. So I'm putting that together now. It's going to be really, really fun. And then Lovely. How are you doing? Yeah, we got to read all our labels. And I think they even lie on a lot of labels that we get, but I still think it's a smart thing to do because, I mean, at best, you know, you have a general understanding of what's going on. And the less that is on there, the better. There really doesn't need to be more than like 20 ingredients in anything that you buy. And I think even that's pushing it. But like, honestly, when you buy something, you see 1,000 ingredients in there, it's best to just put it back on the shelf and live to fight another day. I got to get out of here, y'all. I got a basketball game in like an hour and 20 minutes. So I'm looking forward to it. Not only do we need to eat good, but we also need to exercise and take care of our bodies in that way as well. And that's what I'm about to do. So I appreciate y'all. I will be back to a normal schedule by Monday, but I will definitely be looking forward to having 2 more shows Thursday and Friday. Okay? I appreciate y'all. Y'all are the best audience on the internet, and it's not even close. All right? Hour and a half ain't even long enough. I feel like I should be on here for like a week straight to make up for all the time that was lost. Do a marathon stream. I'm gonna link y'all to all of my new channels as I put them up because I'm gonna have all my channels kind of just niche for what the subject is. So I'm working on some things. I'm gonna take care of y'all, all right? Anyways, for now I gotta go. Peace.